It's always been there, standing between you and your health. A wall. Between a pain that won't disappear and a doctor who magically a long way from hospital bed and sitting right where you are at home. Between finding stuff out of medicines, find them at your door, whatever the time. Between years of health records all over the place and all your records in one organized access from anywhere place. Between your current regimen and the recommended routine. The wall. We don't need it anymore. Say hello to Apollo 24/7. This is India's largest end-to-end omni-channel healthcare ecosystem, designed to touch more lives than ever before and delivering its promise in 3 important ways. 1. Listen. Talk to us anytime from anywhere. We've got 7,000 doctors and 30,000 healthcare professionals listening. 2. Advice. We'll give you expert advice you can rely on, because it comes from India's #1 healthcare provider. 3. Assist. We bring you India's largest health network of pharmacies, clinics, hospitals and health insurance experts. 20 million people already trust us for their care, and a further 50,000 people are discovering this every day. Apollo 24/7. Expertise is for everyone.
Hi Aditi, how are you doing? So good to see you here.
Yeah, hi Shiny. I'm doing really well. How are you doing this Saturday morning?
Oh, absolutely nice. And over the weekend, just catching up like this, and that too to discuss on a topic like this, nutrition for children. It's so close to my heart. And you have 2 boys at home, 2 sons who are full of energy. So how has it been through the pandemic and managing kids at home and making them eat healthy food? I would really like to know what you're doing.
It's been, I have to say, quite a struggle. But I know that all mums out there are going through the same thing. But, with their Zoom classes and mothers who are working as well, it's trying to put on their classes, make sure that they are actually paying attention during the classes. And then, in between running, trying to get some work done in the middle and then going back to put the next class. And I have 2 kids. So, between both of their Zoom classes itself, it's quite, I get some good exercise in the morning running between all these classes. I guess we have to look at, the positive side of things. But yes, and also I think, it's important that even though they are at home the whole day, we do stick to some sort of routine. It's vital for them. We don't know how long this pandemic's going to go on for. So, I still make sure that whatever happens, they go down in the evenings and have some, time to play outdoors. I think that's very important and something that all children, regardless of, even if you have a small apartment, there'll still be a terrace or some sort of outdoor space where it's very important that they go outdoors and play. They can play anything. Some children are more interested in football and cricket. Some kids just want to see the butterflies and birds, whatever it is. But just to have that outdoor time, I think, is very important for kids these days.
And it's really nice to see a lot of moms joining the session. I really love the fact that they're all, in spite of a weekend, all here. And I'm sure they have a lot of questions for us. And it's going to be like super interactive. We would go ahead and discuss how we manage. As a professional, as a sports dietitian, I work with a lot of children who are into sports. And again, during the pandemic, they didn't have much activity. They couldn't go to the academies because it was shut down. But then, of course, slowly things are getting back. And I'm sure there are a lot of moms here whose children are into sports, as well as, of course, kids who are into academics. But they would also want to understand what to feed them. Because I think one of the biggest challenges have been just just keeping them at home, unable to play, go to the mall, go to the theater, go meet friends. There are the classmates, go to school, and that itself was quite a lot of mental stress, right? So all you wonderful people here who have logged in, please put down your questions. It'll be really nice to see your comments as well as all your input, the queries that you have, and we would really love to take it. So what's the plan for today, Aditi? We're really excited. I can see all those bowls there. And
and I'm very excited to what's going to happen today. But first and foremost, I wanted to start by saying that, I think I'm really excited and thrilled to be here on the Health Hour powered by Apollo 24/7 and Your Life. And, I think it's very important to start by acknowledging the fact that it's right now very difficult for moms out there. And I think, every mom is her own biggest critic, and she's always asking herself, am I a good mom? And a big theme that I see running through a lot of mothers' minds, revolve around the topic of their children's eating. It's a big stress point for them. They're wondering, am I doing enough? What else do I do? So I just wanted to start the session by acknowledging all of you all and telling you, please don't worry. Yes, you are doing enough, and don't doubt yourself. So that's just one thing I wanted to say. And going forward onto our topic for the day, which is teaching kids the art of mindful eating. It's a very interesting topic, and I think something that's very relevant today. And, whether your child eats too little or too much or just enough, it's up to us as parents to teach them about mindful eating. It's a skill that I wouldn't really call it a skill, but it's something that if they understand it, they can carry it forward throughout their lives, And when I'm talking about mindful eating here in referral to kids, it's more about having a positive relationship with food, and looking forward to food and getting excited about it. So those are the kind of points that I'm sure we'll be talking about and, getting a little bit more into detail. And also another thing is, it is all a journey. There'll be some days where your kids eat a lot, some days where they may not. It's all right. It's all a part of the journey, and, just enjoy the entire process.
Absolutely, Aditi. What you shared is so true, because a lot of moms come with so much guilt. You can't be this perfect mom, because in theory, it's all very perfect there, and you're trying to match up to those expectations, and you have your in-laws around, your parents around, your neighbors, your aunts, uncles, all of them pitching in and giving inputs, and you're like, you just want to shut out that noise, right? And then you keep doubting whether you're doing the right thing for your child or not.
Exactly.
Child being a child, there are times that you might just say something and then just sticks with them for a very long time, which means even in adult life, right? So even during consultations, I've seen few adults, and you just ask them why they are on yo-yo dieting, and then you go back and trace, and it would have been something to do with the childhood. It could be body shaming at the dining table, without even realizing the parents might have just said something like, don't eat this is not good for you, eat this is better for you, this is okay. That's quite stressful for a child. It's all about, even as a professional, when I keep telling parents, you don't have to give any gyan, you don't have to give any advice, you just have to do the right things. If you're into sports, if you're into exercise, if you're being active, if you eat the healthy stuff, your child's biggest role model is you, and they're just going to ape what you're doing, right?
Exactly.
Totally agree with that. So it's definitely doing the right thing, and they'll follow. And of course, there'll be days that they would want a pizza, they would want French fries, they would want a burger, muffins, cookie, right? And I think it's okay to have all of this. It's just about balance and how to make a healthier version of these kind of fun foods. So all you wonderful people who have joined here, keep your questions coming, and let's dive in, and let's see what Aditi has to share today. Right?
So, I thought I would tell you a little bit as a mother, and you can tell me.
And of course, there'll be days
what
that they
your
would want to
thoughts
feel
are
sad, they would
about
want french fries, they would
regarding
want
this as
burger,
well.
muffins,
A few points
cookies,
and
right?
tips that I
And
think
I think
I
it's
would share.
okay
I
to
would like
have
to
all of
share with
this.
the
It's just
audience,
about
and
balance
there
and
are five
how to
things that
make
I
a
have done
healthier version of these
at
kind
home,
of
which
fun foods.
are small things,
So
but
now
which
we
I feel have
want
made a big
people who have
difference
joined
in
here
my children's
keep
life
your
and
questions
with their
coming,
relationship
and
with
let's
food.
dive
So
in
number
and let's
one,
see
I
what
think the
Aditi
first
has
and
to share
foremost
today.
being sitting at the table for mealtime. It is not a time for technology. Meal times, and during meal times, you need to put the iPad away. They need to focus on their meals, and it's also family time. It's time that you share. You get all this information from your children. Things that I get so much of information that these little tidbits which they may not share otherwise. During the day, and it's really nice for me. And we definitely, my husband and me, we make sure that meal times are with the children. But I do understand that it's not feasible for everybody. A lot of working parents do find it difficult. So for them, I would suggest, even if you're not able to do it for every meal, at least try to do it for one meal. One meal, make sure that you sit down with them and have some good family time. And the rest of the meals, even if you're not with them, make sure that they sit down at the table. It just promotes good habits and good relationships with food. But I do
Yeah,
understand
I totally agree.
that it's not
Absolutely.
feasible for
Because these
everybody.
days, because
A lot
kids
of
are doing everything
working
online,
parents do find it
they'll open
difficult.
up a lot of
So for them,
windows, and then
I
this
would
is a habit that's
suggest, even
happened,
if
right?
you're not
So they might end up eating in front
you're
of the
not able to do it
laptop,
for
they're
every
just
meal, at
grabbing a
least try
snack,
to
and
do it for
it's just
one meal.
become a
One meal,
pattern.
make
And
sure
then
that
when
you
they
sit
come to the
down with
living
them and
room,
have some
they would be
good
watching
family time.
television with their parents, or it could be gadgets at the dining table. And this happens all the time. So this is a very, very important advice, as you said, and makes a big difference, because the mindfulness aspect is missing there. If you're busy watching something, I remember, Aditi, this client who had come, a little girl around 12 years old, and she said every time during the exams she gains a lot of weight. So I just asked her, what is it that you do during the exam? So when you start studying and all of that, then she said, I would start much earlier, and then throughout the day I would have breakfast, lunch, dinner. And every time I'm studying and I'm so engrossed, I would always have a packet of biscuits or chips with me. And that's why I gain weight. So that information about doing two things at the same time. She's studying, paying a lot of focus, but there's food added to it. It's not that she's hungry. She's stressed, anxious about how well she's going to do the exams.
Correct.
And then
It's mindless eating, actually.
mindless eating, just chomping away, just eating mindlessly, not paying attention. So I think the biggest thing that we always recommend as dietitians, as a professional, would be to be aware of when you're hungry. And drink adequate water. That's one of the very big tip, because a lot of children don't really hydrate themselves well. They were busy playing and they're running around. They might not drink adequate water. So once you drink adequate water, you don't feel that hungry. And that really helps. And also to understand that you sit at the dining table and not really take food packets to the bedroom, to the study room, everywhere. So it's the space, correct? Yeah.
Definitely. And the second point I would say is something that I feel has worked the most for me, and that is including them in menu planning. So make them or ask you for what they want to eat. I think it's very important, because one, when I'm discussing their meals with them, I'm also making them aware of the fact that with each meal, I am adding some sort of vegetable, maybe a protein. So, not maybe a protein, definitely some sort of protein. So, what I'm trying to do is that I'm hoping that at some point in their lives, they will make these decisions for themselves, without too much prompting from their mother. And also, they are much, much more likely to eat something when they have asked for it. Till date, I've never had a time where they've asked for something, they've come and sat on the table and not eaten it, because they have been a part of that decision-making process. They have made that decision. So it's very important to include them in meal planning for sure, at any level. And I don't know, I would actually like your thoughts on this, but for me, I don't overdo the snacks. I feel like, when I was constantly trying to feed them every 2 hours, then, each time whenever mealtime would come, it would be like a torturous affair, actually, to be very honest. They weren't hungry. It would take so long to finish the meal. It was really difficult. Then I cut down on their snacks. They may have, like, in the evening, a small snack, but other than that, no snacks. And because of that, they're actually hungry for meal times. They end up trying out more foods. They don't make too much of a fuss. And it's really worked out for me. Of course, I understand there are some children who may need to eat more frequently than others. So for them, you would have to, look at it. But if you're having a problem with a child who's not hungry during mealtime, try cutting down the snacks and see if that works out for you.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Aditi. You're right. Because there are children who might need 6 meals or 8, not necessarily meal, but it could be a beverage in between the 3 meals and a small snack. But there are kids who don't need it because it affects their main meals. And they won't do justice to their main meals. You're absolutely fine. But of course, they do definitely need breakfast. So I think we should ask our, audience to also type, like, what's the kind of breakfast that you've been giving your children? We would be really happy to know what you're feeding, because, we have people across who have come here. So it'll be really nice to see, what they have been feeding, because breakfast is the most important meal, and how important it is, because it's going to help with their cognitive function, for them to focus and get all of this. So I do see a question which says, the time of the feeding, when a child eats at a particular time, does that matter? I feel definitely yes, because I would like to know, the time of the meal, because if a child is going to wake up quite late and then skip breakfast, then they might end up eating some snack like a biscuit or some kind of a cookie, or some snacks which is lying around, and then that will dull their appetite, and then they might not even want to eat a proper lunch. Right. So how do you feel? Because practically with children around, have you faced any such thing about not eating on time and then getting very cranky, and they get like, they end up not doing to the main meal?
Correct. So I don't know if this is fortunate or unfortunate, but both my children are very early risers. They get up at 5:45, 6 o'clock, they're both up and happy, like with the sun coming up, so do they also rise. And because of that, in a way, I think it's very good, because by the time it comes to 7:45 or 8, they are starving, they're really hungry by that point. And breakfast, they just enjoy. They really enjoy their breakfast, and they eat really well. And after that, the entire day goes off so well, because they start their Zoom schools. They're not hungry. They're not cranky. They're learning with a full stomach. So it goes off well. And then by the time lunchtime comes, they're hungry for that, because I don't give them a snack in the morning, unless, of course, they're hungry and they ask for it. But that's very, very rare. It really doesn't happen on a daily basis. So I feel, exactly as you were saying, if you start the day well, the rest of you have planned. That's for sure.
So don't you vegetables? I always give a list of how to vegetables into that. Add some puree of vegetables, fine chopped vegetables and cutlets, and also muffin, not sweet ones, but the savory muffin, which could have a little spinach puree and all that. So how have you been managing with 2 boys at home? How you can lose a lot of nutrients if they're not eating vegetables? Most often they're very fussy eaters, and they do have some amount of fruits and nuts and dry fruits and all of that.
Right.
And slowly reduce vegetables step by step. I'd like to know what you did with it.
So when for my first child, I read all these books. I mean, of course, I think everyone can safely say by the time your second child comes, you're just like whatever goes. But but I had read, you must never hide the vegetables. They should see it and eat it, so they're aware. That's great. If you have a child who tries everything and eats everything, then you should always try out this method first. If that doesn't happen, and if they're still not touching the vegetables or still not, then you have to think of a little, you need to think out of the box and try. They still need the vegetables, but you as a mother need to try to give it to them in a different way. So what I do is, I definitely, I would say, like, I wouldn't say master of deception, but I'm always, trying to put in these pureed vegetables into things, finely cut. So they love cutlets, as you said. They love cutlets with vegetables and protein, like a chicken or something like that. They love spinach with a spinach puree and white sauce. So they love that. They eat that very often. And the thing is, when they get something that's bright green in color, firstly, they get so excited by it also. They're like, oh, I'm eating something really green and it looks very cool. But at the same time, I'm not trying to hide the fact that I've put spinach in there. So I tell them it's spinach. It's a spinach and corn toast. And then they eat it. Then they start also associating spinach with tasting nice. And then later on, you can start incorporating spinach as a main ingredient back into their diets. So, it's just the way and the process with which you should try to plan out their foods for different children.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree, because even in South Indian breakfast, when you have all this idli, dosa, uttapam, pesarattu, adai, all these, besan chilla, moong chilla. So finely grated vegetables will be a fantastic addition. And as you said, pureeing, that is also good. Maybe the sambar, the vegetables could be nicely pureed and that could be incorporated. The chutney is nice and green, or it could be a red color or else an orange color. And that really, makes the food quite interesting.
Yeah, I make carrot chutney for my children. They love that because it's slightly sweet also naturally, carrots lend a bit of sweetness naturally. I give them a beetroot, like pink in color. They love for them also, they get excited to eat it, And what we were talking about earlier, junk food and things like that, and
they love pizzas, burgers, and French fries.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
How do you manage at home?
So that's the thing. I feel getting them into a healthy sort of lifestyle, you need to get them to get used to eating at home mostly, like the most. That's the best way you can bring your children up. Of course, now the problem with Swiggy and Dunzo and things like that are, your favorite restaurants are literally at your fingertips. You can order anything, anytime, any day. So that way, we have to show some restraint. And when I do, it's not that I never order food for them, but once a week I'll order a pizza from outside. But I tell them this is a treat. This is something you're not going to be getting. They know that they can't ask for it all the time. It's it's something special for a special occasion. But at the same time, you can't tell them don't eat pizza. Even at home, don't eat pizza, don't eat burgers. Such a sad childhood that would be. So what I do is I would suggest that try making all those things at home and giving it a slightly healthier twist. You make some multigrain pizzas. You can do oven baked sweet potato fries instead of traditional fried French fries which are made with potato. So you can make a slightly healthier twist to something exciting, which then they actually start enjoying eating it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right about this entire thing, because it's all about practicality. Because what we read in books or hear from somebody else, things might work for their children, their household, but I think we kind of need to work around it, right?
Yeah. And tweak.
Yeah. So Aditi, is that beetroot? Do I see that in your cup there?
Yes. This is it's part of our demonstration. Should we start
I think we should start, and because there are also a lot of questions. So as you're cooking, I'll keep taking some of the questions, and let's do that. Yeah.
Sure. So actually, while talking about how we implement eating at home, my last point was actually going to be this: you need to involve your children in the entire cooking process. It is so good for them. They learn they hone so many abilities, like math skills, like fine motor skills, when they're rolling out chapatis, when they're cutting cookies with a cookie cutter, or breaking eggs. That's quite complicated for them, so it also promotes healthy eating. They see what you're putting into things, and also it promotes, it actually increases their life skills, because whatever it is, at some point in their lives, they're going to be leaving the comfortable nest of home and going. So, they need to be self-reliant. They need to be independent. And a major part of being self-reliant is being able to cook for yourself. So regardless whether you're a boy or a girl, and I have this conversation so much with so many people, because, if you have girls, you're like, oh, they need to be in the kitchen and learn some baking and things like that. And they don't give enough importance to boys learning. But it's as important for boys to learn as girls. There should not be any generalization, according to gender. It should be something that all children need to learn. And speaking about that, actually, my sister is going to be joining us for the demo today. I'm very excited about it. Rehan, why don't you come in? Anyway, meet my assistant chef for the day, Rehan.
Hi, Rehan. Hello. How are you today?
How are you? Say okay.
Okay.
Okay, don't eat the. He's eating all the jaggeries that's there. You need to leave some for our recipe. Otherwise, our pancake bombs are not going to be coming out well. Why don't you tell Rehan? Why don't you tell them what we're going to be making today?
Red velvet pancake bombs.
Wow.
Okay, so red velvet pancake bombs. And I know for all you viewers thinking that what you're talking about, what are we talking about? We were talking about healthy things, and then we're talking about now red velvet pancake bombs. Don't worry. This is going to be very healthy. We are actually going to be adding beetroot instead of the red velvet coloring. So there won't be any food coloring in this. It's just going to be beetroots that are going to be added to give them that lovely color. And with that, we're going to do a vegan cream cheese filling with that. So,
awesome.
so anyway,
this sounds very healthy because a lot of children are allergic to milk. So you said vegan frosting, and I think that's going to be fantastic. And also beetroot. That's give it to adults because it actually helps in the endurance. It truly it's good.
Okay, wonderful. So we're going to start. Yes. So Rehan's very hungry, so we're going to get through this whole cooking demo fast. So what I'm going to be doing is, so for these pancake bombs, the base. Yeah. So for this, what we're going to be using is a 1/4 cup of oats. I'm putting that in, and a 3/4 cup of whole wheat flour. And what I'm going to do is, because I'm using oats in this, I'm going to give it a quick whiz in the mixie. To that, I'm also adding cocoa powder. Sorry, Rehan, come. So I'm also adding cocoa and some salt and just a bit of baking powder.
That's great. Very healthy.
Yes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a quick whiz in the mixie. Yes. And excuse the noise.
Aditi, I'd also like to see the ingredients. If you could show the ingredients. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So now we're going to be adding in all the wet ingredients. We're going to mix that in a bowl. So we have our beetroot here.
Is that boiled and pureed?
Yes, you can steam it or boil it and puree it, whatever is easiest for you to do.
Okay, that's great. It gives a lot of pigment to the entire thing. So powerful. Kids would love it. And
correct.
Yeah, and it's so good. In fact, beetroot is so good for reducing hypertension, and it's great for athletes to. Enhance the endurance. It's so very good. Yeah.
Correct. And to that we added some jaggery as well. So generally in pancakes they put a lot of sugar. So we're not doing that. We're just putting 1 tablespoon of jaggery here. That's for our cream cheese frosting. Okay. No, Rehan. And to that, we're going to be he wants to eat all the jaggery and I won't have any left for my recipe. So now to that, I'm going to be adding 1 cup of milk. If you want to keep this vegan, you can make it any plant-based milk. So you can use, if you don't want to keep it vegan, regular milk is fine. And if you want to keep it vegan, then you can make it with coconut milk, with almond milk, any of those things.
Yeah.
And now we're going to add also some around a 1/4 cup of apple puree as well to it. So this is really good because it's
Is
apple,
Rehan going to be, sorry to interrupt, Aditi, is Rehan going to be helping you mix the ingredients?
Yes, he is. Because I think,
Have a
yes,
master
he's
chef here.
yeah, so,
Like that movie Masterchef.
yeah. With pancakes, they put a lot of sugar. So we're not doing that. We're just putting 1 tablespoon of jaggery here. That's for our cream cheese frosting. Okay. No, Rehan. And to that, we're going to be he wants to eat all the jaggery and I won't have any left for my recipe. So now to that, I'm going to be adding 1 cup of milk. If you want to keep this vegan, you can make it any plant-based milk. So you can use, if you don't want to keep it vegan, regular milk is fine. And if you want to keep it vegan, then you can make it with coconut milk, with almond milk, any of those things.
Yeah.
And now we're going to add also some around a 1/4 cup of apple puree as well to it. So this is really good because it's
Is
apple,
Rehan going to be, sorry to interrupt, Aditi, is Rehan going to be helping you mix the ingredients?
Yes, he is. Because I think,
Have a
yes,
master
he's
chef here.
yeah, so
Like that movie Masterchef.
yeah, yes.
So cool.
So here, I'm going to give you a whisk and you will slowly mix.
Yeah.
Let Mama put everything
Rehan,
in.
do you like what you're doing? Is it nice to be there?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
He loves helping me in the kitchen. So
Excellent.
usually I keep all the the sweet things on the side for them not to see till I'm adding it in. But now, because I've laid it like a buffet in front of him, he can't help but tuck into that. And to that, I'm also adding 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Now, don't worry, in case you don't have maple syrup, instead of the 1 tablespoon of jaggery and 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, just add, what is it doing? Just add 2,
Delicious.
yeah, just add 2
Delicious.
tablespoons of jaggery. So why don't you mix now? Mix it.
See, you know what? The beauty here is, I love the fact that he's so involved with the cooking. And he also
and
loves
tasting.
it. He loves the
Yeah.
taste. So which means when the final product is there, he's going to eat. He's going to
Definitely. He's a part of the entire process. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So why don't you? Yeah. Oh, sorry. So now what I'm going to do is to this, it's such an easy recipe. So now what I'm going to do to this is basically, we have all the the dry ingredients that we mixed earlier, the oats and the multigrain flour and things like that. So we're just going to add it into our
Mom,
wet
can I mix?
ingredients. Sure. And
Aditi, it's so good to see Rehan being so hands-on. He's there in the kitchen, okay? And also that he loves the color. And I think he will definitely eat the final dish.
Eat what? Yes, for
what
sure.
has been cooked. Because I think this is the main thing, when kids are in the kitchen. I think that's going to make a big difference. And this is a life skill. Even when I work with all these tiny tots, we keep telling them, because they might travel across the world, they might go and study in a university abroad, and they would need this as a life skill. They should know how to quickly toss up a meal. And being involved right from, he's just 6 and oh wow, look at his skills. I'm so impressed. It's amazing.
Yes,
so all you friends here, all those who have logged in, please do share your experiences with the children at home. How often do you have them cook along with you? Are they in the kitchen while you're chopping and blending? Yes, yes, Aditi. How's the dish
Yeah,
coming out?
good. So we've added in the dry ingredients to the wet, and now we've just stirring it up, and it's almost ready. Rehan, do you remember what I said? The two most important things while making pancakes are?
Yes. To mix well
Yeah.
and to leave the pancake batter.
Yes, for around 5 minutes before making it. Because if you have the time, try to leave the batter to rest for 5 or 10 minutes before making it, because it'll ensure that your pancakes are nice and fluffy. We don't have time to do that today, but that's okay. We'll be making it directly. I'm just going to take out something that I had in the freezer. Just 1 second.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm going to take the questions from here, Aditi. So what I get to see is also, how do I ensure that my child is getting a balanced diet? So for all you people out there, so what I would suggest to see if you have a menu that is planned. So at least on Sunday, make sure that you sit there at the dining table and then take out a chart and start planning for the entire week. And you could also go grocery shopping. So if you probably have this plan done on a Saturday, which is today. So if you could sit and plan what you want for the entire week, Sunday you could go and pick up all the groceries and then have this stuck to your kitchen board or else the cupboard or maybe your fridge, and then you will know exactly how to go ahead and plan and make sure that you eat from all the 5 food groups. So cereals, pulses, fruits and vegetables, milk and milk products, and also your dals, and in case you're a non-vegetarian, bring in the meat aspect as well, and also limited amounts of oil and sugar. But when it comes to children, it'll be great if you can actually switch to a lot more healthier version, like how Aditi is using honey, jaggery. You know, she said maple syrup, but she also said you can use honey. So you can use these kind of unrefined sugars. That will be a fantastic substitute. So go ahead and really you're going to make it. So that's
right. So here,
paniyaram.
So here I have, to make my pancake bombs, a paniyaram pan, which we call in the south. In the south, we call it paniyaram. I think in the Maharashtra they call it an appe pan. So I have that. That's going to help my pancake bombs come out really well. And what you want to do is just put in a small scoop, and we're not filling it up totally, because we're going to put in a nice little surprise into the pancake bombs, which is, I was talking about the vegan cream cheese frosting earlier. So I made a little bit earlier, and I'm just adding it to the pan in the middle of the pancakes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit now. So this will be this beautiful filling which you have kind of inside each pancake bomb, which is going to make it so exciting for the kids also to eat it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just cover it up a little bit.
Wow, this is exciting. This reminds me of choco lava cake. So
exactly.
When Rehan is going to bite into it, he'll have this gooey thing, and it's that vegan cream cheese frosting.
Yes.
Wow. Rehan, are you excited about this dish? Yeah, that's great.
It smells just like real pancakes.
Wow. And how do you like the color, Rehan?
It's better, right, than regular pancakes.
Mom's small bowl.
Thank you, baby. I've just left it so that little bit of air can come out. Thank you for noticing it. I have my real sous chef with me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So how long does this entire thing take? So can this be a snack, or usually when you prepare this for your children?
Right. So I make this very often during, during breakfast. Sometimes if I want a quick snack for them, because you've literally seen how long it takes for me to have made it. It's hardly taken any time at all. And it's something that the kids just love to eat, you know. They really relish it, especially with that little bit of an exciting twist to it. I think for children, we always have to try to make things a little bit exciting for them to eat, you know. Otherwise it's boring. Regular food is boring. So it's nice to have a bit of surprise. And I was saying, you know, even if you don't have this sort of up the paniyaram or appe pan, don't worry about it. The exact same batter can be used for a regular pancake. So just put it in a regular pan and make a normal pancake. And I'm going to be teaching you how to make the vegan cream cheese frosting, which is again going to take exactly a few minutes, and that you can put as just as like a drizzle on top of the pancakes. So even if you don't have this, you can use that. It's not a problem at all.
Great. I think it's about the same batter that you've actually given a twist, where you use the upright pan or the paniyaram pan. And you also said the regular pancake is also fine. And the beauty is you've actually used wheat and oats. Okay. So I think those are very healthy grains that you have chosen. Another thing is, maybe in case, probably if someone is allergic to wheat, is there a substitute that you might give? Say almond flour.
Yes,
like
definitely.
Or else a keeper flour.
Exactly. So with gluten-free flours, I think it's like what is important is that it's not as straightforward as regular wheat flours. So you need to do probably a mix. So I love to use both amaranth and quinoa flour together. And that makes for a fabulous, it's also like high protein. It's, a lot of things like that. So it's good for them to, for kids also to eat, for their snacks and things like that. But I've just used a regular, yes, my darling, I'm just going to finish making these. Yeah.
See, another thing is also there are a lot of people who do feel like, if they feel that it's expensive to buy quinoa flour and all that. So usually a gluten-free flour, you can actually use jowar or bajra or ragi. Of course, has a very strong color, but maybe, because you're mixing up with beetroot, I don't think that'll be an issue. But so you can always change this recipe according to the allergies or intolerances that your child has. Another thing is also the vegan frosting, which is great because it's only going to be plant-based. There's no dairy there, so which is pretty good for a lot of people who don't allergy. So I think, of course, nuts, then probably you just have to watch out for in case they have nut allergy. Yeah. But
I just wanted to show you guys the batter. Isn't it like a regular red velvet sort of cake batter that you may use? The color, it's so amazing that you can just use natural fruits. Sorry, Rehan's fallen.
I'm sure all my friends, kids are also watching what Rehan is up to.
Yeah.
Their children also must be doing all of this.
Stand up. Yeah. So nice. Yeah. Sorry. He was very restless, so he just decided to sit on the stool. Anyway, he's back.
Yeah, I think he would love to taste that. I'm sure he's waiting to taste the pancake.
Yes. Yeah. He's really like looking forward, I think, to this whole thing.
I'm just going to take one question here. See, the thing is, how do I discourage my kids from emotional eating is a question that I see here. Okay, because a lot of children, when they're upset, they would actually end up eating, and or they might not eat at all, in case the parents have actually scolded them or something, or if there's something to do with their school marks and all that. I've seen children in the clinics, when they come, they don't eat. So I think for emotional eating is also, it's very, very important to lay some ground rules that you do not show your anger and then skip meals. Don't ever do that. I learned that from my mom, and she would make sure that we eat those 3 meals. We don't skip a glass of milk or have a cup of curd. Those things are something that we've always been pushed or instructed to. And another thing is, I think we should just also, as parents, as adults, because kids are watching all the time, how we behave also matters. So if you're very angry and then if you're not eating, or if you're upset and then eating a lot, your children are watching you. So I think they end up mirroring you. So it's very important for parents to actually keep a watch on what they are doing. Their behavior is something that this little one is watching all the time and trying to just copy your behavior. So just keep a watch over that. And another thing also will be to ensure that they're playing with the pets, or else you can just take them out, spend some time with them so that they can play. At least their energy is channelized that way. Because when I work with children, they have this burst of energy, and most of them, they would actually sign them up for some kind of a sport, and then or dance or some craft, and then the energy is channelized there, and there's a lot of balance there.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
think about it. Yeah. Yes, Aditi. So is it done? I'm
Yes,
so
so
excited
I've
to see
taken
that. Can I
so
see how
I've
it
taken them
looks?
out. Yeah, so I've taken them out of uh the pan, and I'm going to just let it cool for a little bit. So while it's cooling, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the vegan cream cheese frosting with my assistant chef Rehan. So what we're going to do is, here we have 1.5 cups of cashews, which I have soaked in some warm water for at least half an hour. So I'm going to just remove, you can help me with the other things. So I'm just going to remove the cashew nuts and put it in the blender. You shouldn't use the water from the cashews, just the cashews themselves.
So easy.
But you want to soak it, you want to soak it for at least half an hour to 45 minutes, because what happens then is that when the cashew nuts are nice and soaked, they become very creamy when you blend it. So it really gives that cream cheese sort of frosting texture. Now, Rehan, why don't you help me with the rest? Okay, he's going to pour in a bit of vanilla extract.
A lot.
Okay. That's
Lot.
Rehan.
I want a lot.
Really having
So he
fun.
likes,
Yeah.
he loves it. He has a great time in the kitchen. And to that,
My favorite ingredient is the vanilla extract.
Vanilla
and then
extract. Wow. What else do you like, Rehan?
yeah, and then can we so we're going to put some we're going to put 1 tablespoon of maple syrup in it. If you don't mind using honey, you can use honey as well.
How about jaggery powder? Or you
yes,
want
I'm going to add that.
Liquid?
Correct. So I'm just adding that at the end. So this is 1 tablespoon of
Jaggery powder.
no, this is 1 tablespoon of maple syrup that I've used. Now to that, I'm adding 4 tablespoons of jaggery. And whenever I used to look at whenever I used to look at icing recipes, my heart would just jump to my mouth, because every icing recipe would have maybe 5 cups of sugar. They would say 5 to 7 cups of sugar. You see that and you're like thinking that's a heart attack waiting to happen. So
in fact, that's how children get into the loop of sugar addiction. And during consultation, we keep telling, so right from the start, if you can actually plan and bring in a lot of natural sugars, fruits, which are really sweet, and then, beetroots are also sweet. All this actually adds to a lot of sweetness. It's great. So you're blending all of this? No.
Yes. So I've not finished yet. And to this, I'm adding a 1/4 cup of
cleaning the honey bowl.
Thank you for helping me with cleanup, Rehan. So I'm adding 1/4 cup of coconut yogurt, because I'm making this vegan. But if you don't mind, you can use regular Greek yogurt. If you don't mind this not being vegan and just, with some dairy.
Or curd.
Yes, yogurt or curd, correct. And to that, we're also adding just 1 tablespoon of lime juice.
He's quite well versed with all the names. He knows the dishes. He knows what
yes.
Good. That's great.
And a little bit of apple cider vinegar. So now to this, it's now pretty much nothing. Again, I'm just putting it into the blender.
Okay, so I'm going to take a question from one of our friends here. So she's asking, how is it that should a child not be allowed to have fast food or junk food at all? Okay, so as a child is growing up, they will be interacting with the other kids, and they would talk about how they ate pizza, burger, or potato chips, cutlets, or could be a bhaji, bonda, samosa, chaat. So growing up, every child will eat this kind of food. So if these kind of foods are prepared at home, like a healthy twist, for example, if it's going to be pizza, you can actually make a rotiza. So roti as the base, and then add a lot of vegetables, and then add some cheese, and then put that in the oven. So this could be a roti as a base, and then prepare the pizza. And if you could make the patties at home, the burger, that will also be really good for your children, because you are more in control that you're using. Okay? And also, French fries, instead of the regular white potatoes, use sweet potato. So bel puri also can be prepared at home. You can add a lot of vegetables. You're more in control, so you can add quite a lot of vegetables and toss it up. Noodles, fried rice, you can add vegetables, some shredded chicken, or could be scrambled eggs, all of that. So you can't really stop a child from having junk food, but it's just that you can allocate once or twice in a week, and then make sure these are homemade with the freshest ingredients, and your child will definitely enjoy. So this is the win-win situation. Yes, Aditi, great. Wow.
Sorry, I'm sure my mixie must have really made it hard for you to speak. But so we just blended everything up, and can you I don't know if you can see. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yes. Oh, it looks awesome. Yeah.
It's like regular frosting. So
oh, I love that texture. I love the consistency. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. It's like, it looks like regular frosting. It tastes delicious. It tastes just like a cream cheese frosting would be. It's slightly tangy and creamy because it's got the cashew nuts to give it the creaminess. And we've added a bit of lime juice and some apple cider vinegar to make it a little tangy. So it's got the same sort of consistency. And now what I'm just going to do is you can just kind of just use that to coat your pancake bombs. So it's so easy and so nice. And I wanted to just show you the inside of, I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but can you see?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I can. That looks great. That looks really awesome.
Cool. So it's really nice. You saw how easy that was. And that's, we showed you how to make these fabulous pancake bombs. I'm just going to say bye to Rehan and thank him for being the best.
Thank you so much, Rehan,
assistant chef in the world. Say thank you to everyone and bye.
Awesome, Rehan. Bye. Okay. So
the headphone.
We kind of need to wrap up because we're running short of time.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. So, sorry.
There she is.
Right.
So we need to wrap up because we're running short of time. And
okay.
Is there something that you might want to say, or I do have a little bit to add before we wrap up the session? Yeah.
Sure. So I just wanted to say, these are small things. I showed you how to make these pancake red velvet pancake bombs with vegan cream cheese frosting. You all firstly saw how easy it was. It really didn't take any time at all. Get your kids involved. We saw how much fun Rehan had, and it was generally such a fun experience. So get your kids in the kitchen, get your kids cooking, and I just wanted to say thank you for such a